Hey, Jeremy, can you hear me at all?
I can, yeah. Who's that? I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Hey, it's Brad. Sorry.
Hey, Brad.
I'm at Swim West for my son's swim lesson, so I want to make sure you can hear me.
Yep, gotcha.
Perfect. Thank you.
Got Kendra, got Carl, Tom, Mark. Yeah. I don't think Kelsey's coming.
Oh, that's too bad.
And then, oh my God. Let me see. Who was that? Luke. There's Luke.
Yeah, we've got him audio. Brad, you went away.
I'm not going to start the video because I'm over at Swim West, so to spare you the inner decor of the swimming facility.
Okay. Well, we have a quorum. It's 6
Yeah.
o'clock. We should begin.
I agree.
Okay, opportunity for public comment, seeing no public people. We wish to thank those who might have wanted to appear but didn't bother to show up. Moving on. Approval of minutes from the last meeting. I suspect that someone who was at the last meeting will have to move acceptance since we were responsible for that. So if I could, any changes, corrections, anything else? If not, somebody move approval.
I move that we approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Thank you for that. A second, please.
It's Kendra, I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Carries. All right. Welcome, new members. This is where we find out all about you. You prepared your small bios, I hope, your brief bios. We got a very effective one from Kendra last week. And here's something we learned. Kendra is a very, very busy person. So we can't make these things longer so that she ends up getting caught between family and committees. So Luke, hi, you are Luke Bluma. What else do we know about you?
Yeah, thanks everybody. New member. I'm graduated from UW-Madison 2008. Been working at UW-Madison in IT since 2009. Moved from town of Middleton to city of Middleton, and that's why I applied to join. I want to get more involved in local community, and my wife and I welcomed our 6-month-old daughter. Well, she's now 6 months, but in December, so that's kept me very busy.
Did you buy her clubs yet?
I wish. I'm trying. I'm trying to think, how can I fit her in the stroller? How can I like protect her while I go out there?
Well, you hang the clubs on the back of the stroller. That's what I did. Well,
You can put the car seat like right behind in the cart, that little basket. You just kind
I
of lay
like
it right
that.
on top.
I wonder how that would have worked on one of those surfer cart bag carrier things from a couple of years ago. I have to ask you, this is a side question. You said you're at UW-Madison doing IT.
Yep.
What department or division?
Used to be, spent 7 years with Do It, and I think Tom, our paths crossed once at a blue moon many moons ago. But now I work for the administrative IT unit, who is being absorbed by Do It. So
I'm laughing because Do It absorbed so many things over the years. We just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Mark, welcome, Luke. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you. Well, yeah, thanks. I'm Mark Langworthy. I'm a CPA by trade. I work at SVA companies, I guess, down on John Q. Hammond, so not really too far from Pleasant View itself. Just got married last year to my wife, who I've been dating for about 13 or 14 years. Asked her to marry me every year since we started going out. She finally said yes, and I'm kidding about that. And it took me a while to ask her. So, in addition to CPA, married, got an adult daughter, Hannah, and then Kathy's got 4 adult children as well. And as far as community service and stuff like that, in addition to the mayor graciously appointing me to this committee, I also coach Miracle League baseball over in Cottage Grove, which Miracle League is kids that have disabilities of some sort, could be, or cognitive, autism, cerebral palsy, muscular dystrophy. It could really be anything. So it gives them a chance to play ball with their peers and really enjoy themselves. So I do that in addition to this committee, and there was one other one that I wanted to mention, but it's escaping me now. Whatever my third one is, I'm drawing a blank on it right now under pressure here. So anyway, that's me.
You humbled us with your second one already. So
Yeah. Well,
good on you. Good on you.
thanks.
Okay, so the next thing that we have to do now that we're all here is pick a chair and a vice chair for the next year. So nominations are open.
Tom, I would nominate you once again to chair, if you are willing to do it.
You did threaten that when we played the other day.
I did threaten you with that, and I batted leadoff with that one tonight.
Well, I'm willing to serve, but anybody else? No? Oh, boy. Okay, by unanimous opinion, I guess. Little need to have a vote on this. I will serve as chair.
Why don't we just
Do it anyway?
yeah, Carl, so why don't you make a motion?
I move that Tom Scott chair the committee for 2022.
Now it's a motion. We'll take a second. By the way, you're all members now.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay.
Who's
passes.
second?
Luke, I think.
Luke,
Thank you.
second, yeah.
My first seconded. Thank you.
Way to go, Luke.
Right in there.
Right
man.
in.
Now we need a vice chair. So we need another nomination.
I will nominate Carl.
I will second that.
I
Carl,
will
are you
third that.
willing?
I don't think we've had a third too often, but yes.
Well, that's just one I vote out of the way.
There you go. One I vote down. I would be glad to. That'd be great. Thank you for the
Are there
honor.
any additional nominations? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Carl? I'm gonna be gone even more this summer.
Thanks, Tom.
Okay. Normally we would have stuck Kelsey with that because of course she's not here.
Oh, should we do it since she's not here?
No, we have a fine vice chair, but I think I ended up chair the first time because I wasn't there. So that seems a long time ago. I would like the minutes, Jeremy, to reflect a thank you to Dennis Shradden. He was on the committee for several years and I think he was very helpful throughout that period. And we missed an opportunity to thank him last meeting. So just a brief thank you for the record for Dennis. With no objection, we can do that, I think. Hearing no objections, it's in. Okay, Jeremy, floor is yours.
Everybody have an opportunity to check out the financials.
Yeah,
Do we have any questions?
and now we have a CPA, we might actually get intelligent questions again.
Been a while. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it has been a while.
Just
Mark's
kidding.
been gone 2 weeks. Not you, Mark. We had Mark Sullivan on the committee previously, and since he was, I think he chaired the finance committee. So he watched us pretty closely. So,
Yeah, he did chair the finance.
Yes, yep.
so Mark, going forward, that's your problem,
Okay.
keeping an eye on the books.
So,
I did take a look. It's, there's a lot here, and just getting my head around it, understanding some of the terminology, but I've got it. I think I got a pretty good grasp of what's going on here.
Okay.
I had a question about what the land sale was.
that was that the 206?
18,950.
Oh, that was the ETC agreement that we,
Okay, that's what I thought it. Okay, thank you. I had a
Yep.
feeling that's what it was, but
yeah.
okay, thanks.
You might need to explain that briefly for our new members.
Yeah, so long story short, guys, obviously Pleasant View Road is being expanded next year. And so we had a land sale of $206,000 that you probably saw in there, and then another $18,000. One of it was for that 206 was the big chunk for the construction, the purchasing of our our property for the respective easements, whether it's a temporary easement for construction or permanent easement. And then ATC had to move their poles just a little bit to the west. So it was a small chunk, and that was remember, it was originally 37,000, I want to say, but myself and the finance department agreed that 18-ish was a correct number based on the transfer of lands to parks, I believe, a couple years ago. So that number is accurate. And the good news is, since this committee, we made some moves back in, when was that, February or January, which allowed MG&E to do an easement into our golf course. So essentially from Blackhawk Road to our pump house, which eliminated the need for ATC to move their poles 40 feet to the west. So, the 18 is a relatively small number, but it kept our golf course from being encroached any further. So yeah, it was a good thing. But to answer the questions, or Carl, or Tom, is that what you were looking for?
That's good.
Yep.
So any other questions from anyone on anything you're looking at?
I think the only other thing I would want to, I did catch an error, actually, like a $16,000 error in the utilities section. So just know that we're getting refunded 16 grand from.
Was that from March?
Huh?
Was that from March?
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah, I don't want to be an auditor, but I was kind of curious what that might have been.
Yeah, no, that was a mistake, and that will be reflected in the next set of financials.
Mark, feel free.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Mark.
No, feel free,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
if it's positive money.
No, but in all sincerity, guys, obviously I comb through those, and it can't hurt to have a second set of eyes, right? Just in case, because who knows if I didn't catch that, who knows, right? So
Right, exactly.
But on the flip side, this spring was incredibly difficult. You all know that. We got hit hard in April with lack of good weather. May, we exceeded May last year. So from May 1 to May 31st, our revenues exceeded last year's. And then as of right now, this exact moment, while you guys were talking, I was just running a couple numbers. We are like $2 grand ahead of June this time last year. So in the end, we are $77,000 behind 2022's numbers, but also, or 2021's numbers, excuse me. But also remember that 2021 was arguably the most efficient year
Right.
possible, at least as of right now. So
Yeah, I saw you were catching up pretty quickly.
yep. But as you guys all know, it's really hard to catch up April, right? Because October we don't have daylight. And that's the big one. And so April, it's a bummer. It was a solid 150 some $1,000 short of last year's April. So
It's coming together.
and March, I should say. Let's see, other updates. I really don't have any other updates other than just plugging along. So
Any other questions on the financials? Either the cash flow or the month end? Moving on. Pleasant View
So-
Road.
yeah, so Pleasant View Road.
I don't think they're
really
ever
have any
gonna
major-
finish.
I don't really have any major updates for Pleasant View Road at this time.
Yeah, I don't think they're ever gonna finish the damn thing.
Or start it.
Well, traffic is starting at northbound just before the turnoff to get into John Hammond. I mean, that hole gets deeper and deeper every week. Gonna be a rollover there pretty soon.
Wow.
Okay, golf course redesign.
Yep, so we had a virtual meeting today with the various golf course architects that are interested in the bid. The bid documents have gone out, and it was a really positive meeting, and that's really the only update I have at this time.
How many bidders? Just the one?
We won't know until the opening date.
Oh,
We're
I
on
thought
call.
I thought it was already open.
No, the bid went out, so it's
Yeah,
now
I saw the
public.
bid.
And we had a virtual questionnaire meeting today.
Okay.
And there was, 10 different people on there, but I don't, that doesn't really mean anything as far
Yeah,
as.
so you had a bidders conference today, but.
Yep,
yeah, okay, all right. I don't know how we catch our new members up to what's going on there.
With
If
what?
we-
Yeah.
With what's going on with the redesign.
yeah, I can do it right quick. So
Let's-
Luke
let's
and Mark,
do
you
that
and I
just
already
for
had
your
this conversation,
background.
so you already dialed in, but Luke, here's the situation. So obviously Pleasant View Road is being expanded to a 4-lane boulevard, right? So with a median in the middle, a sidewalk on the east side of the road, and a multi-use path on the west side. So clearly this is going to be a big project. And then Greenway Boulevard is going to be a roundabout, Blackhawk Road is going to be a roundabout, and then Quarry Road is going to be a roundabout. So they're putting roundabouts in there. Old Sauk remains a stoplight. But the point is, for us and our discussion here is that it is going to encroach on our golf course a little bit, right? Especially near number 2 Lake Green. And so we've got to relocate 2 Lake Green to the west, about call it 60 feet-ish, something like that, where those pine trees are. And so we've got to do a little bit of work around the green there. It'll be a brand new green. We've got to take away some trees, which is fine. And then we're going to be berming quite heavily, or as much as we can, in between Pleasant View Road and Lake number 2. And then they're also going to be digging up 2 retention ponds there as well. So think kind of near the sand traps of Lake 2 on the left. There'll be a retention pond near that location. And then there'll be a retention pond near the women's tee or most forward tee of Lake 2. And then since that green's being pushed over, Lake 3 needs to be altered a little bit with the tee boxes. And so we're just doing a small alteration there. All in all, if you played Lake 2 and 3 tomorrow and you didn't play for another 10 years, you probably wouldn't notice a big difference, right? What you are going to notice, though, is we are taking this opportunity to do a redesign on some of the holes that we feel needed some little bit of upgrade. And since this will help with mobilization costs, since they're already going to be on site. Woods number 9 is going to be, the green's going to be redesigned. It's going to be flattened and made bigger and put into essentially a 2-tier green system to eliminate the massive severe slope from back to front. Prairie number 8, we are going to move the green down and to the left. It's going to become a downhill, shorter par 3. And then moving over to the lake golf course, we're going to open up lake number 6 so that it's a little bit more playable for people of all abilities. And so we're going to think it's a sharp dog leg left. We're going to kind of align it so it's not quite as severe as of a dog leg. It's going to be more generous landing spot, but there's going to be bunkering that's going to guard it. So people will be able to find their golf ball, but our intent is not to make it easier necessarily, right? And then lake number 8, we are going to shift the fairway left towards the pond. We're going to add some fairway bunkers, and we're going to build a brand new green just over the existing pond, which in my opinion will be one of the signature holes on the lake golf course. So that's the redesign in a nutshell. And part of the concern that we've had at Pleasant View was the lake golf course really wasn't the most favorite golf course of people. And nobody could ever give me a genuine reason. And I think I think it has to do with sight lines, and I also think it has to do that we take driver away from people's hands too much. So if we just go through it right quick, Lake 4 is a par 3, no driver. Lake 5 is a sharp dogleg left, no driver. Lake 6, sharp dogleg left, no driver. Lake 8 or Lake 7, excuse me, par 3, no driver. So you haven't hit driver since hole number 3, and I think that that's part of the problem, right? Is people like to hit the driver, and with this realignment on Lake 6, it gives them their choice. We don't take the choice out of their hands. We're giving them a choice now. And then Lake 8, same thing. And so I think the sight lines will be better. I think it'll be more unique and enjoyable without taking away the characteristic of what the lake course is, which is more target style.
No, I think that's a great summary. I appreciate that. It's just funny to hear some of that background because anecdotally, every time I play Pleasant View, my friends are always like, Lakes, we love playing Lake. So it's just interesting to hear that not a lot of people, you're kind of getting the opposite feedback. So that's interesting.
Well, so why do they love playing Lake?
I think exactly what you said is all the other courses in town, you can drive, you bang driver over and over and over again a bunch of times. And to your point, it's kind of more of a target. The views are different, a little more elevation, a little bit more just fun kind of quirkiness to it than some of the other ones. So,
Yep, and you know what the nice thing is we're not taking that quirkiness away. Well, actually, we're taking it away a little bit, but we're not taking away the characteristic of that target style, right? And that was important to me when I was working with Kevin Norby, our architect, that we didn't lose what the lake is, right? Originally, his original design didn't have bunkering on Lake 6, and that just wasn't going to work for what I wanted, right? Because I wanted it to remain that target style. I wanted it to be different than the prairie course. I wanted it to be different than the woods course, but I also want it to be more playable. Right now, you know.
So you're going to put a bunker on Lake 6, where there used to be a bunker on the par 5 Goat Hill 20 years ago.
Yep.
Okay.
But
By the way, my favorite club, don't take it out of my hand, is wedge.
And that's the thing is we're not going to, right? And we're adding more forward tees. So Lake 8 will have a more forward tee. Lake 6, we're going to redefine the forward tees. We're going to entertain Lake 9 as we don't know yet. Entertain a par 5 or make it a more forward tee par 4. We're going to make a forward tee on Woods 9, a more forward tee for the juniors and females or whomever wants to hit from that tee.
And seniors.
Seniors. Woods 3, we're going to add a forward tee. So it's not just about making it harder, it's also making it more playable for people of all abilities and ages.
Okay, thanks, Jeremy.
So Jeremy, when this redevelopment is done or being done, how is this going to impact, the golfer experience? I mean, while the work's going on, and I apologize if this is already in old minutes or something, but I'm just curious if, I don't know how long these things are going to take, but, do you need to shut down a 9-hole course when this is being done? Are there going to be temporary greens, tee boxes while the work's being done? Are you going to be able to golf around the work being done?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think it's a valid concern, one that we've talked about, at length, but I think it warrants another conversation. Mark, I just don't have the best knowledge just yet until we know who the bidder is and what they're actually going to do. But I'll give you what our vision is, right? And that would be that we are going to have temporary greens on some of these golf holes. We are going to remain in play. So let's just start with Woods 9, for example. Woods 9, we're going to just move the tee boxes back, which was also part of the reason why we added that tip tee box. So because we don't want to keep the tees forward because it becomes really dangerous since it's a blind shot. So we'll just move it back. And there will be a temp green kind of down in the valley there, if you can think of it there. Mm-hmm. Then on Prairie 8, we are going to keep that in play. We're moving that green far enough away that the original tees and greens will remain in play. Yeah, there will be some pardon the mess, our mess situation, but at least it'll still be playable. On the lake golf course, this is the one's a little bit more tricky. There's certainly going to be a temp green on lake number 2. We are looking at adding a tee box further back behind, so think to the north of our current tip tee, to see if we can keep it a par 5 during construction, and then have a 600-yard hole for the tip tee in the future, right? So we're looking at options there. Lake 3 should be in play, kind of pardon your mess. There's no temp green, maybe a temp tee like for a little bit, but nothing too crazy. Lake 6 is probably going to be the trickiest one that I don't have a great answer for right now. We're hoping to not have a temporary green there. And then Lake 8 will be a temp green. You know, it's going to be a par 3.
Yeah.
Now, we feel confident that with us getting ahead of the game here, that the temp greens will be decent. I mean, will they be perfect? No, they won't be perfect, but they'll be decent to putt on. And the plan, again, I don't know how this is going to come to fruition until I actually see what the conditions are like, but the plan is to just kind of keep going as we're going, and this is the rate, and those that stick with us will be kind of rewarded as a thank you in the future, right? So leagues, I do not anticipate that we'll discount leagues. I do not anticipate we will discount memberships. I do not anticipate we'll discount outings. Those that say, see ya, I wish them the best. Those that stick with us, I think that they will find that we will keep the rates the same for a couple more years after that. So that's kind of my plan.
Okay. I was just curious if there would be a, you know, if there would be any sort of impact on, you know, tee time, number of tee times or whatever. And, you know, obviously it impacts revenues and that sort of things for those that are not members that, you know, a full tee sheet with 27 holes is a lot different than a full tee sheet with 18.
Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll make woods and prairie the default rotation as much as we can. And then the 12-minute intervals for the 9-hole side has been a massive success. I mean, yesterday we did over 600 starts on a Sunday, right? I know it's Father's Day. We've got 503 starts today on a Monday. Volume is certainly not our problem. And we moved to 12-minute intervals on the weekend for the 9-hole side. And I think next year is going to be a great opportunity for us to move to 12-minute intervals on the 18-hole side. And so then we'll just keep it like that, right? But this all could change, guys. You know, once I have more information, we'll make informed decisions, and I'll certainly keep you all in the loop and ask for advice. And I think this is going to be a growing pain for all, right?
I think we're going to get through it just fine.
I do too.
I'm not convinced we won't have to do something about rates. We'll talk about that when the time comes. At the end of the day, we're a muni. But also at the end of the day, we're the best muni I think anybody that I play with has ever played. So you look at that, and then you look at the kind of revenue we generate, and you have to wonder if we can't, you know, we want to keep that revenue moving and growing as appropriate while remembering we're a muni. So all those things kind of come into play and work with one another and against one another. So there's lots of conversations going forward about how to deal with all those facets.
But
And
now
it's a
remember,
damn good time to be in the golf committee.
yeah.
A
Now
lot of
remember,
good stuff
though,
going on.
if we're doing pilot on gross receipts,
Right.
so I understand we're a muni, but let's just say we cut receipts in half. Now the city's getting half as much, right? So
I
just,
understand that.
and then I literally just got done saying that we had 600 rounds yesterday. We don't need that, right? We can't sustain that.
What we don't know is if we'll keep 600 rounds with holes on 2/3 of the golf course having activity on them. We just don't.
I might be eating my words, but I feel very good.
Jeremy, I
And-
do
and-
too. But you know
and-
me, I
And having-
worry about this kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, Tom, so do I. I mean,
Yeah,
it's my
but
job, right?
you're a
It's
bigger
like-
optimist than I am.
I mean, like, I don't think you lose sleep at night like I do about this, right? So I've had
No, that was
good
too much wine
conversations with
last night.
outings, and they've all been, nope, we're coming back. We're coming back next year. We don't care. And that's a positive thing. Now, again, we'll make adjustments as we know more. It's
That's
easy
all
for
I'm
me to
saying.
say this right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, moving right along. Talk to us about our capital reserve plan.
Yeah, so I wanted to, I'm going to share my screen. I want to just, bring Mark and Luke in the loop on this, and maybe Kendra, but Kendra probably was dialed in last month on this. So, but give me a second. Actually, let me pull it up right quick.
Mark, I think I know one of your partners. And
Oh, yeah.
I can think of her sister's name, but I can't think of hers. She's married to the developer who did the condo thing out on Pleasant View Road a number of years ago. He also-
Karen Galena.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
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 Okay, can we see the Excel spreadsheet?
Yep,
All right, so again, Mark and Luke, this is just, the rest of the committee has seen this, so I'll fly through this, and if you have any questions, let me know. But the end of the year, we netted $1.4 million after last year, okay? And then what we did is we paid down 1.5 to the general fund to expire that debt. We had 3 different buckets of debt. We had an external source that we got rid of. Oh man, Tom, when was that?
oh, you long time ago.
Oh yeah, it was. I can't recall when that was. Maybe 5 to 10 years ago when we expired the external debt.
Yep.
And then we had debt from the general fund, which you can actually see down here, roughly $6 million of general fund debt. And we expired that in last year. Okay, so now we have this debt to TIF, okay, this advance from TIF, district number 3. So we still owe $2.1 million to TIF district number 3, okay, or TID 3. And so what we did is, again, we expired the debt, and what we hope to do on an annual basis is to net roughly 800 grand, pay 400-ish grand to TIF, or TID 3, excuse me, pay 100 grand toward ourselves for capital reserve, and then pay the other 400 grand to, or 300 grand to capital projects such as new mowers, things like that. So in 2022, we came up with the following. We've got a budget to net 1.1 after receipts, right? We had a transfer of land of 206, okay? Now this here, this number 656 and this 300, that's our capital plan for next year. That's the course redesign, and along with some other capital needs that we have, all right? But our goal at the end of the year, this year, is to be $1 million in our general fund. Currently, right now, we've got 1.2. I'm sorry, not general fund. I'm so sorry. In our capital reserve fund, Pleasant View Golf Courses capital reserve fund. So this is our goal, is to stay around $1 million. Okay. So now what we're doing in the future here is, after we expire the TIF district number 3 final payment, which is projected in 2026. This is what we're looking at, is, having a general fund, and this is back to my 2025 kind of reset, where we make sure that we take care of staff, we take care of ourselves internally, as opposed to worrying about, to Tom's point, all this revenue, right? And I'm not saying we need to reduce revenue, but I do want us to have a little reset and rethink, okay, what is the vision for Pleasant View now that we have the debt expired in sight? And that's why I keep calling it the 2025 reset. And by the way, here's pilot. Okay, so this is not finalized. The finance department still needs to finalize that, and then obviously it will need to be approved by Common Council.
Just a second, Jeremy.
Yep.
For the new members, pilot means payment
Oh.
in lieu of taxes. So we're not taxed, but we are expected to begin to pay in lieu of taxes. Sorry, Jeremy.
Oh, no, that's perfect. So if we're looking at 2023 here, okay, this is going to be the first year that we're planning to have pilot. We're projecting a reduction in receipts, and I have impact scenarios that I came up with, and this is the number that the golf committee and staff felt comfortable. So this is what we're projecting in 2023. And then obviously with expenses, if our revenues go down, our expenditures from a day-to-day operation theoretically should go down. And so this is what we're planning to net next year. Here would be pilot, right? Because that would be the 3-point-some% on gross receipts. This is the advance to TID 3. And I apologize, this is actually over here, guys, I misspoke. This is a reduction in TID. Okay, this would be 450 plus this number here. But anyway, this is what we're planning to spend in capital expense next year, which would leave our capital reserve fund at $1 million. And then in 2024, this is sans the obviously course redesign. You can see we're paying down 450 to TID. Now, I've said this to you all before in the past. If we have a great year, if this number, is closer to that 1.4-ish, I would love to get rid of this 2026 final payment to TID. I would love to advance that payment even more. But we can decide that as a group, once we have more information on a financial picture.
Yeah, because we're going to get hit with a double whammy on 23.
Yep. And then we've got a big project that we want to get done. So this is our project, our maintenance building expansion. Big project that we want to do there. Not quite as big as next year's, but that would come out of our capital reserve, right? Again, still leaving us, we want to stay, this committee and staff feel very comfortable staying at around that $1 million in reserve. I think that would be our goal.
And Jeremy, this might be a dumb question. Is the $1 million like, is that a comfort just like in case pandemic 3.0 hits and that number you just feel good operating wise to keep things afloat, or is that number specifically, like?
Yeah, I don't think there was anything that, and Tom or Carl or anybody else in the committee, if you want to chime in, I don't think there was anything magic about that number. There was no formula. It was just, if something goes wrong, if our irrigation pipes all blow up, right? Something, that's what we wanted that for.
I think, Jeremy, what we should do is, I don't know if Kendra has seen it either, but share the capital reserve analysis that we paid for 5 years ago.
I actually sent that to you guys.
Well,
Yeah,
I know I saw it. I don't,
Yeah.
well, if you haven't looked at it yet, please read through it. Because it lays out not only what the capital needs are going to be, but the kind of capital reserve we should expect to be building to protect against those needs.
Right.
So we've talked about renewing it, having them come in and doing it again, although our decision to date has been, we don't have anything new that they know about or don't know about. And what we have, they already know about, it's just aged that much further. So the only value in having them come back in would be to have them revalue the major projects that we're saving to be able to accomplish. That didn't seem worth $5,000. So that's kind of where we're at. But that
Well,
capital reserve plan has been used by the committee. And in fact, people on the council, some of the people on the council have seen it. And they know that we're working against external advice. And I think that bought us a lot of credibility. We can pull it out and use it as fact anytime we need it.
Yeah, and I think when we get closer to 2025, I think we should redo that study.
Yeah, I agree.
But we have really actually done a really good job kind of going after some of those areas that we've known about. And so I've used this study quite a bit. And so these capital projects are not by mistake, right? They're very well thought out. And part of this reset is, we're going to have more capital projects. Storage, that's a big one. That maintenance facility that I talked about, that's a big one. A pavilion, if that's something that we want to move forward with to separate any golf outings from public, that's a big one. There's a lot of things. And then I know, right, wrong, or different, it's a hot topic, EVs, right? If the city wants the golf course to go into EV carts, it's going to be at least $100,000 to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, big
And
money.
I'm not just talking about, that's just the infrastructure, right?
Right.
So, there's plenty of capital projects that we're going to have to be looking at. So don't feel like, oh, wow, look at these numbers. They're going to have $5 million by 2029 in their capital reserve fund. That's not, I don't anticipate that.
But
And
at
that's
the same time, a major concern for this committee from the onset is that those kinds of numbers will be viewed by others as essentially free cash flow. And that's not the case, and it's something we have to be watching out for all the time.
That would be my one argument for updating the report, in just the fact that, 2017 prices are nothing like they were now. Or
Right.
that they are now. And so a lot of these capital, I'm just wondering, as far as the valuation of the capitals that are in this report, I don't think we need to spend $5,000 to update it right now, but it's something to keep in the back of the head if someone were to look at this report and be like, look, your numbers, and then you're going to have this big 5 million later. Well, these are really old. So any of these any of these numbers are going to be very different now.
You're right, Kenny. That'd be a pretty weak argument at that point.
Yeah, so I think that'd be pretty easy to counteract. I did have one question. I'm sorry, and maybe you went over this. My daughter walked in while you were talking, Jeremy. Did you point out where on this spreadsheet is it reflected on here where the redesign is coming from and the construction of the?
Yep,
you said
right
it's
here.
Okay, thank you. That's what that's in the 2024, right?
2023.
23. Okay.
So the 300 is our annual capital spend that we're sticking with, and then we're going to dip into the reserve of 616.
Okay, so the project itself is going to be right around 900 to 950.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
Well, but that also includes, it's not quite that much, but we'll see when the bid docs come.
Okay.
I want to say he quoted around 800-ish.
I remember that
we
now.
have some small projects such as sealing the parking lot, for example. That's in there, right? Yeah.
Got it. Thanks.
And then we had 8% inflation. So among other things, our capital spending should be reflective of the inflation we know about and should already be up 10%.
Oh, okay.
And we should be compounding that forward.
But this is what's interesting is this is what the city is going to be looking at here, right? Because that's where they're going to get once this committee and the Common Council come to an agreement in terms of pilot, the city's going to count on us, right?
I understand.
They're going to count on that budgeted $100,000-ish or whatever the number is, so that they can have another staff member or whatever that they're going to use with the $100,000. And so we do need to be careful of those gross receipts, right?
Jeremy, what was your inflator on your expenses? I think it was 3%.
So Bill came up with this a while ago. It was 3% on an annual basis.
Well, and we're already at 8.
But we did that here, right? So here, let me get out of this so I don't, there we go. So we recalculate this on an annual basis, Tom, based on actuals. And then this number here, this is where I kind of did analysis based on trends of what we did in the past, right?
Yeah, no, I remember that.
Okay.
My concern is that our expenses as reflected don't really represent the inflation we're facing right now. Everything is 8 to 9, 10% more expensive today than when that number was established by Bill.
I don't disagree. But remember, this is just a forecast. This isn't law, right?
Yeah,
Like,
no, I understand that.
yeah. Which is why I don't want us to get caught up on, oh my gosh, we're going to have $5 million in the bank. It's not going to be accurate.
Well, you'll have a little less if you get the inflation factors right on expenses.
That's true.
And at 10%, it'll take that 5 off the board, especially when you forecast it forward. Just a thought. We don't have to worry or think about it now, but give it some thought yourself. Talk with Bill. Inflation is clearly much higher than we anticipated.
Yeah,
One
let's see
good
where we
thing,
come in
I
this
don't-
year, right? Let's see what happens next year. I think that there's a lot of variables that, right? There's a ton of variables. I understand what you're saying, Tom, and I don't disagree. I can play with numbers all day long. It's still going to change.
That's what I did.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to plug in your own numbers, go for it. I'm feel free.
No, I did that for enough years. All right, moving on. Unless there are questions.
Could I just add one dumb question? Jeremy, you just talked about that 2025 reset.
Yeah.
I mean, carrying some debt seems like it's fine. It sounds like this debt though feels like an anchor. Can you just talk a little bit about what that means, just briefly?
Yeah. So we're obligated to retire that debt by, Tom, is it 2027 or 2028?
I think it's 28.
We're obligated to have that done. Okay, because TID, that district needs to close. And so that's why, we've been pressing to get this paid.
Got it. Okay.
And what we can then do is we can look internally. I mean, I can tell you right now that we've got some amazing staff members that I would love to keep around. And this is a whole new conversation, but I think that we need to offer a little bit more for some of these staff members that are maybe full-time seasonal. So they work really 7 months out of the year, but they're still full-time. And they're getting salaries of, like $30,000, right? So I just would like to make that maybe not 30, but 40 or whatever, do little things that matter. Take care of our head golf professional who works harder than anybody on property. And, it's not thousands and thousands of dollars, but these little things can make a difference to them. And I just want to make sure I take care of the people that take care of us, right?
Got it. So by freeing up that debt gives you a little bit more flexibility to do those things. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I understood a little bit of that.
Right. And this has been a long time coming. I mean, Tom can speak to this, but, I've been at this capacity for 10 years, I think. And we were stressed 10 years ago. It was a different deal. We were not in a financial, and for the record, and again, Tom can back me up on this. We were doing just fine in 2019. We were doing really, really well. Yes, COVID gave us a shot of additional revenue, but we were holding our own just fine and then some. But 10 years ago, it was a struggle. It was a struggle to meet budget, and So I think that's why I was really protective of some of these salaries, and I want to reset. I want to do over if you all, everybody allows it. So
You're looking at the difference between night and day when you take a look at these numbers
yeah, I mean, here,
compared to where we were 10 or 12 years ago.
Right.
yeah, it doesn't quite get to 2012 when I first took over, but you can see, I mean, we were 1.8. What do we net or gross this year? 3.8 last year, right? That's a big, we netted $1 million more last year than we did in 2014, right? So
since I'm the worrier, not the pessimist, but the worrier, when you look at these numbers, start worrying about somebody offering to buy the course from the city for 10 or 12 or $15 million, because frankly, the return is there. It's not out of the realm of possibility. And there have been people on the council who would sell it like that, given the opportunity. So damn it, sometimes you do too well, Jeremy.
which is why we need to reset.
Right.
So does that answer everybody's questions about the history? A little bit. Mark, I know that already went through that with you briefly, so.
Yep.
Boy, I hope I don't see an offer from SVA to buy the course, Mark.
That's not gonna happen.
Thanks for the reassurance, Mark.
Just gives me one more thing to do and
Well, we were owned by
wouldn't allow me
CUDA
to
at
get
one
out of
point.
here anytime soon.
Unless someone objects, we're looking at designation of future agenda items. We always have golf operation finances. We always have Pleasant View Road. There should be more coming down the line. When do bids close, Jeremy?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
When do the bids close?
Oh, boy, off the top of my head, it's sometime at end of June or maybe early July.
Oh,
Okay,
soon.
so
That's fast.
Yeah.
we could conceivably be getting an update on the bid process. So let's leave golf course redesign update in there.
Yeah.
To cover that part. We almost always talk about the capital reserve plan because there's always pressure of one sort or another to do something with that money.
And Tom, can I speak to that really quick?
Sure.
So for the new member, Mark and Luke and Brad, I mean, if you have ideas, right? Like, don't be afraid to present them, because we talk about this capital reserve plan all the time. And like the pavilion is just an idea. I'm not saying that we're going to do it or need to do it, but Mark, as a golfer, right? What would you love to see here at Pleasant View? Is it a better putting green? Is it a chipping green? Like those little things. By all means, don't be afraid to share. Or Luke, same thing.
I was going to ask that. Is there because what I don't want to be is the new person who's a broken record. If you've already talked about an idea, beat it to death. It's not something you're interested in. Is there like a list of like capital projects that have been discussed and it's like interested in? And I could, I'll give a real example. For me, I look at some of the revenues and I see winter. Obviously dips makes total sense. But like simulators, like Hawks, what they put in over down the road. I mean, is it realistic? Could you put in a 2-bay system at Pleasant View right off the clubhouse where the bar is still your revenue generator? People like to come to the bar for the food. You get your winter revenue up. If that's dumb, there's no room for it. Like I don't want to bring that up if it's already been talked about a million times.
We haven't. It could be conversation item.
Yeah, we have the bar. So the ROI in that, and I've done the work and now think about snow removal and making sure safety is for 3 months or 2 months. I don't think it's there. Now, if we were a private course and we needed to offer amenities to members such as Hawks Landing, Bishop's Bay, Black Hawk Country Club, that's different. But I think it would be more of a, we'd have to hire more staff, right? We would have to bring those seasonal, that $40,000 now needs to be a $50,000 job, right? And I think it's a losing proposition. I really do.
Yeah, I think it would just be interesting though, because I mean, Hawks is their sims are open to public. So, but if you look, they were basically staffing it with a bar manager and a waitress who are going to be there anyway to work the bar. So you're not really adding new staff from that perspective. And it's sort of you have Vitens who offers simulator, bays, driving range kind of an experience in the winter. That gets slammed as soon as, for months and months, and it doesn't really have a great experience. So I get where you're coming from. That probably doesn't make sense from the cost perspective, but it was just interesting to me if you could fit it into that current construction or the current structure that you have on top of the hill. It just seemed like an interesting idea to go into it. But I know some of them have gotten rid of theirs, so maybe it is a losing proposition.
Here's the other thing that the city is very cognizant of. We don't want to take away business from a place like X Golf. It's a city business.
Didn't know that. That's a great point.
Yeah.
That happens all the time. We need a bigger kitchen.
Yeah.
Well, you can't have a bigger kitchen because you'll hurt the restaurants in town.
Right.
Will we? I doubt it, but
I
it's
think
an argument.
let's let X Golf be X Golf. We'll be Pleasant View Golf Course.
But that doesn't mean you don't keep throwing ideas out on the table.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll keep throwing them until you tell me to shut up.
Well, because we brought that to the table. When was that? Like 5 years ago, Tom? Like something like that?
We did
5
talk it
years
through
ago?
once, yeah.
Yeah. And this is before simulators were even popular. Now it's like everybody's got a simulator. So that's why it's like, let them go to the Red Mouse.
Well, there's a really good restaurant on the Near East Side. Can't remember the name of it. They have 5 or 6 bays, including a private room. And they're slammed. They're doing baby showers in the private room. The guys show up for the baby shower and bring their clubs. It's it's everywhere. So anyway, keep tossing ideas out. Keep tossing ideas out about the course, potential amenities.
We did private events in the wintertime just to see, right? This is back in like 2012 and 13 and 14 when I was trying to scrap for pennies, right? And it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of work for very little net return. I don't want to say it was a fail, but it was barely a single in terms of a baseball analogy.
So is it safe to say that, and this is just philosophical, but philosophically, it's more of a mindset of trying to maximize revenue during the prime months rather than trying to extend revenue throughout the year? Is that kind of philosophically what you're saying?
Yeah, revenue, obviously revenue currently is not our.
Right, but just maximize the value, so to speak, in your prime months versus trying to figure out how to get some offset in the winter months.
Right, like for example, a pavilion, right? Golf outings are a massive home run for this facility. And the trouble with golf outings, though, is they drown out our main clubhouse. And then people like Mark who play, or our leagues, they feel like they're now, it's too busy in there. I can't go get a drink, or I can't go. We need to move the outings to a pavilion. What I would love to do is I would love to expand our bathrooms, right? We've got 2 urinals, and we had 1,000 people here yesterday, right? Yeah. We have 2 urinals. Like, those are the things that we need to take care of. Let's be really, really good at what we're really good at. Golf outings, leagues, public play. That's my opinion, of course.
No, that makes total sense. I appreciate that. This is good.
I see it in the reverse, of course. Public play leagues, outings.
And that wasn't in any specific order. It just
No specific order, Jeremy. That's right.
We need them all, and outings make us a lot of money. So
like you talk about the third of the revenue, right? And that's where they come from.
Yeah.
Outings, leagues, public. And again, no particular.
Yeah. Okay. Are there other suggestions for future agenda items?
Good.
If
And
not,
then if I don't have any information, guys, I'll send an email out saying, hey, this is not worth having a meeting. We'll defer, but I do anticipate some bid information coming, so.
Yeah,
think
that'd
we
be,
should set a
well, you
meeting.
may not have had it long enough to know a lot. But anyway, well, let's take a look at calendars and see what we can do. This is the 20th of June. July 18 or 25. Let's see, where am I? I actually think I'm in town.
On the 18th, Tom?
I'm in town on the 18th.
No?
Either one of those dates works for me, so.
Yeah, me
Okay.
too. But
Jeremy, is
18th would be
18th
better.
okay with you?
What's that?
18th, does that work for you?
Sure.
Kendra?
Yep.
18th it is, 6 o'clock. Hopefully, Kendra, what's the rule on Zoom meetings?
Still allowed as long as that's what the committee wants. Still up to the committee choice. There is one room at City Hall that has a hybrid option. I can look and see if it's available that day if you guys want to meet in person.
No, we
Otherwise, it's
don't
up.
want-
Okay,
I like everybody, but no, we don't want to do that.
then keep it how you want it.
Good.
Kendra, are they going to force us to meet in person in the near future?
They haven't talked about it in a little while. I think there's quite a few committees that are happy with the Zoom option.
Yeah.
It allows people to participate no matter where, if they're at a swim lesson or if they're, on vacation or elsewhere. So I think I'm not going to say that that's going to be the final decision, but I think that's going to probably be the status quo for a while.
Great.
Hopefully.
Good.
Nope.
I mean, I don't mean to speak for the committee, but it works very well for us.
Well, the commute time alone, like having to take 20 minutes to go anywhere. It's 20 minutes that you can do other things. So
Right.
yeah.
Great.
I agree with you.
Okay.
Thanks for the update on that.
Jeremy, one question. So if we don't have a meeting for some reason, because you don't have anything, would you still, I think that's what you said, right? That, hey, I've got nothing on the agenda, so no meeting, right? Would you still provide the month, the financials, just being the numbers guy? It's easier for me to kind of look at each month individually and not try to catch up, and it's just easier for me to follow along that way if could at least look at those.
Yeah, the finance department sends me the financials every month, so no question I can send that along to you guys. Yep.
Okay.
Okay,
And in the future, I probably won't share that debt report. That was just for Luke and Mark. It's mainly just the monthly financial report.
You're talking the cash flow projection, or what are you talking about?
Yeah, I probably won't share that until when it's needed again.
Okay. All right.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will make that motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Second,
Hey, I'll second it.
thank you.
Oh, Mark.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 This is a record. 1
Wait.
hour and
Hold
2
on.
minutes.
Tom, did you move to adjourn, and then did Kendra say?
No, Kendra, I asked for a motion.
Oh,
I made the
Kendra
motion.
Kendra said, I so move.
and Mark. Got it. Okay, got it.
Seconded, right.
Got it. All right.
That was actually
Mark.
one thing we did talk about with Zoom meetings. It's very helpful for the person taking minutes if you identify yourself when you make the motion and when you second it,
Fair
So-
enough.
Oh, more
which
chatter.
I forget to do all the time.
Thanks,
Well, sweet. Well,
everybody.
thanks for your time, everybody. Truly
Yeah.
appreciate the insight as always. Luke, Mark, welcome aboard. If there's any
Thank you.
questions, call me. The one thing is, did everybody take care of sending the oath over to Lori?
Oh.
I don't think I needed to. I oathed up the last time, so.
Okay. And then guys, friendly reminder, especially now that we have new people on board, be careful when replying all, right? Because that does violate the open meeting laws, or, so walking meeting, for example, right? We can't do that. So just, if I send something to you guys, just reply to me,
Okay.
and then I can do what I do with it.
Okay.
Sound fair?
Yep.
Okay,
Good
That
enough.
includes if we're talking among ourselves.
yeah,
Even
so
if Jeremy's
even,
not on or Kendra's not on, we can't have an email or a text conversation that includes the group.
and even,
Okay.
believe it or not, you gotta be careful if you play golf together.
Okay.
Right? Perception issue.
Yep.
Got it.
Thank
think
you so
it's-
much, Jeremy.
Yeah, you bet. I think it's two, right? Two at a time?
2 is fine.
Yep.
I think it's anything to say as long as you're not a quorum.
Right. Quorum
Got
solution.
it. So it's three, you could
Yeah.
have three.
Okay.
Yeah, in this group, is this the whole committee here? No, because we're missing
No,
Kelsey,
Kelsey.
so.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
But you know, if
6,
Mark, Carl, and Luke and Tom go play as a foursome, that might be a troublesome
That'd be a
situation.
problem.
that, yep, you can't play a foursome. You could do a threesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but Not a Thor.
Well,
All
thanks,
right.
guys.
Thanks,
All right.
everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
Yep, thanks.
See you later.
Good night,
Guys.
everybody.
Take care.